Hey guys, welcome back to Java Code Analyzer by Mac. Before we start, please click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to be notified for the next videos. So let's get started. So for today, we have taken the main method overloading in Java. So in the previous video, we saw that what is method overloading. So the main method overloading in Java is similar to that of method overloading, guys. In Java, we can overload the main method just like any other method that we can overload. So by defining multiple main methods with different parameter list, we can try to achieve the main method overloading. However, the JVM always calls the standard main method with the following signature. So this is the signature which usually the JVM tries to invoke, and whatever the user has defined, the methods or overloaded methods should always called explicitly by the user in order to get executed. So now let me try to explain with an example, guys. So here you could see we have taken one particular class as method overloading part 2. And let me try to create one main method, guys. So here I have created the main method. So this is the main method with the default signature that the JVM will always tries to invoke. So this is public static void main string array of args. So this is the default signature where the JVM will always tries to invoke, where the user doesn't need to call explicitly in order to get executed. So now let me try to overload this particular main method. So let me try to create one more method with the same name but varying with the number of arguments or the types of arguments. So here you could see, guys, I have created one more method main with string as an argument. This is the method which has string array as an argument, and this is the method which has string as an argument type. Let me try to overload the main method with the same name but again as an integer type. So here let me try to replace the string with respect to integer. So this is how we can try to overload the main method. The difference is that it has the same name but it has different set of or types of arguments. See here you could see this is the main method, the default main method which has string array as an argument, and this is the method which has string as an argument, and this is the method which has integer as an argument. So this is called as main method overloading. It is similar to that of method overloading, guys. The method which has the same name but varying with the number of arguments or the types of argument can be considered as overloading. Now you could see that we have defined the same thing. Here the main method overloading or method overloading only depends on the method signature. The signature consists of only the method name and with the arguments. It does not depend on the return type and or any other modifier that we have defined, right? So this is called as main method overloading. Now whatever the methods that a user has defined, that should be called explicitly by the user. So let me try to explain that. Let me try to write one println statement, and let me try to write here the message as default main method. This is the default main method or the default main method I have written. So let me try to write some other println statement with respect to this main method. I am trying to write here as main method with string as an argument, and let me try to write here the next method as int as an argument. Let me try to copy paste the same println statement and let me try to write here, and let me try to replace this string with integer. So here you could see that we have replaced the sysout statement. So now let me try to execute and show that whether this methods will be invoked directly by the JVM or not. Run as Java application. So here in the console you could see that we have only executed the default main method, because the JVM will always try to find the main method with this particular method signature or the format. Whatever the user has defined should be called explicitly by the user. So now let me try to call that particular main methods which we have created. So here we have created the main method, and at the compile time only I'm trying to decide which method should be invoked, whether this method or this method. So how to decide that? I just have to provide the argument type. If I am providing the argument as a string, then this particular method will be invoked. If we are trying to invoke this particular, then we have to provide integer as an argument. So let me try to provide an integer argument. Now which method will be invoked? Both the methods that we have created will be invoked. For this particular line 6 will be invoked with the argument as string, and this particular 7 line will be invoked for the integer argument main method. Now let us try to execute, guys. Run as Java application. So here you could see that all the three methods that we have created are invoked, but explicitly we are trying to invoke the methods that we have overloaded. So this is called as main method overloading, where whatever the user has defined should explicitly call those methods. So there is one more topic, guys, with respect to overloading, that is constructor overloading in Java. Constructor overloading in Java is also a technique where multiple constructors are defined within the same class with different parameter list. Now let me try to create the constructor, guys, here. So how to create a constructor? The constructor will be taking the same name as that of the class name. So this is the constructor. Now how to overload the constructor? We have to define the same constructor with different set of parameters. Let me try to declare this particular constructor with integer as an argument, and let me try to declare this particular constructor as string as an argument. So now we have defined two constructors with the same name but varying with the number of arguments or the types of argument, right? So this is called as constructor overloading. What is the advantage of having constructor overloading, or in what criteria we go with constructor overloading, is that whenever we want to have the readability in the object initialization, or with respect to flexibility with respect to the object initialization, we go with constructor overloading. For example, if we want to create or initialize the instance variable with integer value, then we can go with, or we want to initialize an integer instance variable, we can call this particular constructor. If we want to initialize the string variable, we can go with this particular initialization of the instance variable, we can call this particular constructor. When we want to call this constructor, we can initialize the string variable, and when we want to initialize only the integer variable, we can call this particular constructor at the time of object creation. So this is the advantage of constructor overloading. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and click on the like button.